Good morning from Islamabad. Today is the 3rd of May 2026, and I'm here to discuss the management of nuclear weapons, which, as I speak to you, are over 12,000 in the world right now. Now, this is a very big number. Many of them are deployed and many are in reserve. The number is big, but it's small compared to what it was in 1986 at the height of the Cold War. It was over 70,000. Now, what we have seen in the last 2 years, and specifically in the last 2 months, the US-Israel war over Iran has redefined conflict, international violence, issues of national security. There's a lot of divergence. So basically what we have to do is that just like chemical and biological weapons were addressed and later abolished, so we must learn how to manage nuclear weapons. Okay, now let's look at the last 80 years since 1945, when after the US conducted its nuclear tests, 3 weeks later, 2 bombs were dropped, and those were bombs dropped from a bomber. So the 2 bombs were dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, causing over 100,000 deaths and long-term radiation consequences. Now, since then, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1967 recognizes 5 nuclear weapon states, those which conducted tests before the 1st of January 1967. Since then, there are 191 signatories. And it is also worth mentioning here that South Africa dismantled its nuclear weapons program in the apartheid days. And after the end of the Soviet Union, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus signed the NPT. North Korea was a signatory till 2003 and walked out of it and conducted its test in 2006, while India, Israel, and Pakistan are not signatories of the NPT. So at the moment, we have only 5 recognized nuclear weapon states: the United States, Russia, China, UK, and France. And now I look at whether we could have new nuclear weapon states, whether we could see nuclear proliferation in the years and decades to come. Okay, so now with nuclear proliferation, now let's look at the scenario going on between the United States and Europe, first of all. As you know, the German chancellors had talked of humiliation of the United States in this war, and after that we see that 5,000 US troops are going to be removed from Germany. Now, this means that Europe is going to develop its own nuclear umbrella, because previously and presently Europe is under the United States nuclear security umbrella. So the United States provides nuclear security to about 31 countries. So we'll probably see a lifting of that umbrella, and European countries coming out with nuclear weapons becoming part of the deployed arsenal. The second is the flashpoint that we have is in the Middle East. Now, you have seen that in the proposals now in the last 24 hours, Iran has only talked of Hormuz, which means that nuclear is out of the conversation points. So is there a chance that Iran could go for nuclear weapons? And after that, is there a chance that the United Arab Emirates could go for nuclear weapons? Because there is talk of leaving, they have left OPEC, and Israel has a strong presence in the UAE. So that could be an Israel startup. And so if Iran and the UAE develop nuclear weapons, then could it spread to other countries of the Gulf? So when we have more nuclear weapons, then we are moving towards a greater risk. Let's look at the question that, do nuclear weapons stabilize the world? Are nuclear weapons good for maintaining peace? Are they really a deterrent? Or could the gap between conventional war and nuclear war become less? Could it decrease due to the security environment in the region. So let's try to examine in the last 2 years how this theory holds. Now, if I take you back to the 6th of May last year, so between the 6th and the 9th of May, there was a 4-day conventional Air Force combat war between India and Pakistan. It was India who attacked Pakistan and Pakistan who defended against the attack, and the war quickly escalated and India lost a lot of planes, and basically a bigger country saw itself losing the war. So that was a conventional war. The casualties were not that many, even though a casualty means a casualty and does represent loss of human life. But on the 4th day, I think everybody got scared that a nuclear war might break out. And it actually could have broken out on the night of the 9th of May last year. And if it had broken out, then India and Pakistan stood at the brink of a major catastrophe, taking them back centuries with the loss of millions of human lives. So that's the closest we came to a nuclear war last year. Now this time in Iran, you saw that the United States and Israel carried out several attacks between October 25 and March 26 on Israel. And there are statements coming from those sides that Iran does not have nuclear weapons. In spite of that, the war began on 28th of February this year. And because it was a conventional war, so missiles were used, drones and missiles. And even though there was an asymmetry between Israel and Iran, but the question of nuclear weapons did not come in. It remained a conventional war. But there were possibilities that this conventional war could easily have turned into a nuclear war. So now let's examine what are the dangers, what are the risks of nuclear war taking place. Analyze why did India and Pakistan go for nuclear weapons, why they're not signatories of the NPT. For India, basically they had a war, a very brief war against China in 1962, and then there's the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan, which is unresolved since 1947, and over that is a bone of contention, as it is famously called. And in 1971, India helped the mutiny forces in East Pakistan to break Pakistan and to make Bangladesh in 1971. Now it was 3 years after 1971 that India tested its first nuclear bomb, and then in 1998, again on the 11th of May, India carried out nuclear weapon tests. So between bomb and weaponization, there's a whole process. Now, so basically the reaction that Pakistan had to India's tests were to carry out its own nuclear tests. So India says that it has the strategic sovereignty, and for Pakistan it's a reaction against India. So for Pakistan it's a defensive program, it's not an offensive program. Now Israel has estimated to be over 100 nuclear weapons. And there is, as I mentioned in another podcast, that there is a very glaring asymmetry in the Middle East right now. So let's see that what could possibly compel other countries in the Gulf, which is a flashpoint at the moment, what reasons could compel other countries in the Middle East to also opt for nuclear weapons. Okay, so just like we considered the possibility of proliferation of nuclear weapons, now what's going to happen now if nuclear weapons proliferate? First of all, they're not going to be strategic nuclear weapons, they're going to be tactical nuclear weapons, which means they'll be meant for a smaller theater. There'll be specific military weapons to avoid strategic impact. which means there will be localized nuclear weapons. So the gap between conventional war and nuclear war is likely to decrease. And these are the two factors, proliferation and higher technology. Now with higher technology, we'll see miniaturization and more computer control, which means that there's probably going to be more intelligence, which means AI together with nuclear, and you can imagine what kind of a combination that would be. So I would conclude by saying that what is the most important thing in the management of nuclear weapons is perhaps not the nuclear weapons themselves, but it's the path that we are on. It's the distrust that exists between people of different religions, different thoughts. So basically, it's the environment of distrust. And so what we need right now to revive, and that's what the United Nations should do, is to revive the treaties and talks like SALT and START, and to engage with countries which are not recognized as nuclear weapon states, somehow to manage this and to develop a robust framework which includes with strategic weapons, it includes tactical nuclear weapons, especially powered by artificial intelligence. Now, if that does not happen, then yes, we are at the brink of a major humanitarian catastrophe.